So capital meets capability. How India's furniture ecosystem is becoming investable. That is the issue that we are going to explore over here. India's furniture and interiors industry is entering a phase where organizational capability, supply chain coordination, and disciplined execution are beginning to attract investors. In this conversation, I will try to explore how capability across the value chain is enabling businesses to scale scale more sustainably. And also what makes companies investable. That is a key question today. And what industries must do collectively to build globally competitive enterprises. So my first question to you, Ramakant, you are the co-founder of Livspace, and you are yourself a prolific investor, particularly in the home improvement industry. So as a founder of a scaled platform, how has your perspective about this sector's potential evolved over the past decade? What developments have strengthened investor confidence in this space?
So I think, see, this question has two parts. One is the investment, second is the relevant to our industry. I can tell you the capital markets and the capital has its own fate. Capital always finds its ways where it gives the maximum ROCE, maximum ROI, and capital is the final truth. The capital markets and the way capital flows behaves, sometimes, nothing can be more real than the capital flow. And it will always go to a place which can give the maximum justice to the capital in terms of ROCE, ROI, because the investors only care for that after a point. Maybe some are mid-term, some are long-term, but in the end, capital flows are like that. So given what a change in Indian consumer markets, I think the consumer market in India, as usual, is very strong market. But typically the market starts from health, education, food, clothes, lifestyle products. And furniture in a boundary line is a discretionary category by definition. So consumption of furniture is clearly linked with the GDP growth. If you look at developed nations, the per capita GDP tells you the furniture consumption. So we are today probably, I say today or post-COVID or last couple of years, I think we see a structured contours of scalability where a return to the capital and justice to the capital can be underwritten by various investors in the market. Second, I think with the growth of per capita GDP, the inflection point for furniture industry has arrived. And it's not that we are not consuming furniture, we will consume much more, that's one. Secondly, we'll consume it in a much more scalable way because the industry itself is an artisan industry, largely catered by pop and mom stores. Probably I'll call it the manufacturing also primitive. The most primitive manufacturing in the country today is probably furniture. Because if we look at the automobiles, textile, semiconductor, in fact I came from electronic manufacturing places, that's gone to a different level. And that needs a different kind of a scale, and I think countries like China, all of us visit Europe, they have taken a leap forward in furniture manufacturing. Then it comes to really, serving the consumer. So all of that was really non-scalable. Manufacturing was non-scalable, retail was non-scalable, the selling process was non-scalable. And the large capital needs a scalability. So somewhere I think in 2-3 years, with the increased consumption, increased lifestyle, aspirational value of furniture is definitely being attributed to the lifestyle. I think it's the right time, it's an inflection point, but I can deep dive, I'll stop at this. So these two things, either the capital is now really able to do justice with this industry. That's the reason you see multiple funding rounds are happening. Probably in various reports, the recent BCG reports, this is the sector which has been highlighted the most fundable sector in the country today in consumer space.
So lifestyle and particularly home improvement, you vouch that is one of the most fundable sectors
today in India. But if you look at the Amazon United States, the most profitable category is home. So that's been the trend all over the world, but the sequence is like this only. You see the other things getting structured before you see furniture. And it's a pretty, as I said, it's a decently lifestyle-linked discretionary purchase. And India has arrived there, I think, last 2-3 years. We see the numbers. I think we have become 4 times in 3 years. So that's if you put element of scalability, structure and capital together, with one more important thing, I think the right talent. In India, the various industries, including us, are really struggling to find appropriate talent at every level, starting from raw material manufacturing to sourcing to manufacturing to selling to retailing it to really putting a technology around it. So I think somewhere all of it has to be developed, but it's an orchestra. It cannot be developed one at a time. It will be developing all together because the more demand will lead to more investment in manufacturing. It will cater to more training programs. So I'm looking like a density, especially in some of the states in India where polytechnic courses, manufacturing, like the automobiles in Maharashtra, it's created a lot of talent which I think can be catered across the industries for manufacturing, even the design. So all of it is also, I think, going through an exponential upward curve where you can see a large force of installers, designers, project managers. All of it is coming together. So my sense is this is the real time where I think we can cross the scalability and inflection point. And the data from the global world says that this is the most profitable category world over. And it's the category which really needs larger modes in terms of product quality, supply chain, because always it's been unorganized to organized, really transitioning a pop and mom manufacturing. It's a workshops to factories to people to scalable processes, technology. So this is the time all of it is going to happen probably in next 3, 4, 5 years.
So my take from Ramakant's response is, one, we are in the right industry at the right time. But more importantly, capital is attracted to capability. That's the message which I got in his.
If I add Deepak's point, if I had to really choose industry today, after 11 years, I'll choose home for sure. Because this is the category, I think there's no better time than today to start any business in home. Indian homes are going to change, the lifestyles are going to change, and the time is really moved from the apparel, cosmetics and shoes to education and health to a real lifestyle which will start from your eating habits to cooking to living. Even the bathrooms, every room of the home will go through a change, and it's a drastic change because of the GDP up and the curve. And one is the customer demand. Second, I think the industry structure now allows you to cater the demand. Earlier, you're so unstructured to cater any scalable demand that the things were not available. Maybe the factories were unpredictable. Maybe the material of a good quality was not available at a right price. Maybe the furniture fixtures were an issue in the country. There are 3 companies selling all of it, or all the rest of it is unorganized. So it's went to a point where I think anybody was trying to think $1 billion revenue. The vision really had breaks in between, and it's a hard struggle on a whiteboard, how I'm going to get a 10,000 crore revenue. So while we crossed the journey of last year 1,500 crore, maybe 2,500 crore, but I still think the 10,000 crore journey needs a more structure all across the value chain. And that 10,000 crore to me is visible only because of these inflection points and change in the industry and the capital flows. So there can't be a better time than today to have really on a more accelerated way in home.
Thank you, Ramakant. Goelji, you had a long association with a variety of furniture and kitchen manufacturers through your storied career in this industry. What capability constraints have you seen that most often affect the reliability and scalability of furniture manufacturers? And which of these are beginning to improve as the industry evolves?
Guptaji, thank you. It's an interesting question. But before answering your question, let me give you a little bit of background. You see, policy intervention is a major enabling factor. So we have to define the industry in 2 different parts. pre-2013 and post-2013. Till 2013, furniture industry was reserved for a small-scale sector. So no large capital could have come in, and if capital is not there, talent will also not come in. So post-2013, the government changed the policy, de-reserved the policy. That made, as Sharma ji said, the home sector is a very interesting, segment for the PE fund or VC funds, for the reason that most of the people buy the furniture for the, not more than 2 or 3 times in their life. They don't do the home many times. So by and large, the profit percentage per buy is higher. Second policy intervention change come during COVID time. When government realized that furniture industry is a low-hanging fruit, China is exporting about $8 to $9 billion every year to India, while India is exporting only $1 billion. So they tried to encourage, they nudged all the state governments to provide facilities, to provide services for the growth of the industry. Once PE fund and VC funds realized the relevance of the sector, they opened up their purses. Result, that you have seen Wakefit, Livspace, Homelane, all those companies coming up and growing. And once the capital is there, a lot of talent also come in. So Sharma ji is from different, IIT, IMM, Harvard, all type of institutes are now, the people from those industries are coming in. So talent and capital both are driving the growth of the industry per se. Now you said scalability, reliability, and capability, all are interconnected. All are interconnected. Once you get the capability in terms of capital or talent, then you start scaling up. And as you start scaling up, you start getting the reliability. Reliability comes out of the volume and out of repetition. Doing the same thing again and again, again and again. So when you are scaling up the capacities, you see, you can, every unit you go, you can see the industry growing. Most of the people are increasing their capacity, setting up more and more machines. So you can see the scalability. Reliability, yes, there are gaps. Certainly there are gaps for 2 reasons. One, skills are missing, and people are still in the process of increasing their production. As they start increasing the production, the marginal cost will come down, and mistakes will eliminate. This is simple, basic factor, and that will create the change. And as you start, another problem of that, basically, that you cannot contract your core competence to the outsiders. So most of the companies which are today doing in the furniture space, they don't have the captive units. So they are doing more of the contract manufacturing, which will definitely create problem with regard to reliability. As the time passes by, as the people invest more and more, you will find that reliability also catches up with the, and one more thing. I was talking to one of the largest kitchen manufacturing company in the world, which produces about close to 4,500, 5,000 kitchens a day. And they were absolutely sure that their cost of production is lower than that of China. A company producing in Europe having a cost of production lower than China just because of scales and the processes. So things will definitely change. India is also not far away. And as said, that basically that furniture is a discretionary item. Rising GDP will definitely fuel the demand further. So my view is that lot of capital will come in, and one day we will also have the, I'm honored to say that largest furniture company comes from India, and we can also make IKEA or Walmart in India.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. So it's, as you say, the message I am hearing is that we need to build predictability in our operations.
Sir, predictability
Scale is one thing.
Predictability will also automatically come as you start manufacturing. You cannot scale up without defining the process. And as you're defining the processes, predictability automatically will come.
So process driven,
yes,
and scale.
Otherwise, you cannot scale up.
Ramakant, in an earlier conversation, you had mentioned that one of the motivations behind Livspace's investment in TPlusA was that it would improve supply chain predictability for Livspace. That was one reason you had invested in TPlusA. When predictability across the supply chain improves, how does that change the way investors evaluate long-term value of your
So
business?
it's a great question. I think, see, at one point, maybe Goel sir is also hinting the same thing. Reliability cannot come without scalability. It cannot come without predictability. It cannot come without volume. Volume cannot come without the out-of-the-box thinking and a large structure and a technology in place. Anybody thinking of building an IKEA, even IKEA is much bigger company, it's an investor in Livspace, but I can tell you the number I said, the 10,000 crore revenue company 3 years from now, that needs a different class of thinking all across the value chain. Just to give you a data, India has probably, and I can be wrong in this data, 4 companies more than 1,000 crore. Wakefit, Livspace, Home Center, and probably if I count close to this industries are one company. 2 of them are listed, 2 not. There's no one else. So that's the, I'm not counting the...
Let's not ignore the elephant in the room.
Yeah, so not counting the likes of Godrej, but I think, see, because that's a historically a very big company and a brand, but I'm talking about all something which has started last 10, 15 years. And the reason being, I think the intent is also not really the pointing the companies. Intent is, the point is, it's a very hard to scale in the past structure of how the country is designed. But that's changing fundamentally, as I said, all across the value chain. So coming to the hardware investment, I think it's not only Livspace's predictability, it should be predictable for the industry. We are talking about $2.5–3 billion market of a hardware fitting, furniture fittings and hardwares. $3 billion market, most of it, if I might be wrong a little bit here, but 80% of it is unorganized. And large of it is imported from China, done by various importers, dealers, retailers. I think the 20% is the structured and 80% is not structured. In itself is a need of a structured play. And the play has to be really, as what we discussed, scalable, manufacturing-led, cost-driven. If we can't really, control all of it, we'll be wrong in one part or the other. We need to really provide these things at a right price, right quality, at a right time, in a right supply chain. So my sense on the industries is a 20,000 crore hardware industry. And the organized players are probably 3,000 crore or 4,000 crore, which is 20% of 20,000. 16,000 crore is still unorganized, available, unpredictable, and not standardized to a point where you can really say this is the price, this is the quality, this is the time, and this is what we vouch for: lifetime warranties, 10 years warranty, 20 years warranty. So how we are going to build a large scale company unless all of these elements come together at one place? And somebody has to fix all of it. And my sense is no one person can fix all of it. So this needs specialized companies of a larger scale, like we have seen the companies in MDF and various other ingredients to home success. Like nobody is bothering to create a new paint now because paint is available at a quality of a scale and predictable and at a right price and a right time and a right brand. So I think the things, nobody bothers too much on tiles. Tiles companies have developed to a point, even if I go to the electronics, I was with the Havells promoters yesterday in one discussion. I think his point is India is in majority of homes, it's a 6–8% is the air condition penetration, and heats in summers are increasing. One assumption is more or less, see, maybe it's not one company or another company, but are we going to live the way we live? Without AC, without washing machine, without modular kitchen, without chimney. We are not selling any kitchen without a chimney now. Exhaust fan is dead. So that's the quality aspiration, and I think the movement through which all of us and the entire country is going through. So my sense is anybody who's trying to really structure a large TAM, which is a input function to the consumer demand, is going to be, I think, is a good business. That's the economic rationale of the investment.
Thanks, Ramakant. Goelji, my final question is to you. You are building a new venture within the ecosystem. How are you thinking about strengthening industry capability so that operations of furniture companies become more predictable and scalable. A very pointed answer.
Again, very important question. Again, you're asking a very important question. Let me give you some different. First thing is that we have to deliver more furniture for each dollar to the customer. Today, Indian furniture is more expensive compared to European furniture when compared like to like. And that is coming because of the high cost of production, number one. Number two, what I want to tell you, that we will have to create a situation where we are in a position to, you see, capital is coming to the industry. That will bring more and more players. So industry they will also increase the capacity, they will bring the new offering, and they will also reduce the prices. As a result of that, many players will have, all the players will, you see, capitalism has got a unique feature. It ensures survival of the fittest. So most of the companies will have to gear up, they will have to remove the inefficiencies, and they have become too cost efficient. That is the ecosystem. How can we do it? This is the next question. If this is the situation, what do we do to reach there? One, and again, that you have to keep on scaling up. Each increase in capacity will reduce your marginal cost, improve the quality, deliver the value to the end customer. Without that, it is impossible to grow the industry.
I agree.
It's almost impossible. That's point number one. And point number two, that today, most of the, see, there will be two different types of markets. One would be the large players who specializes in something. Most of the time, we talk about Vietnam, China, and all those things. Do we know that in Vietnam, only one person will do only the outdoor furniture? Somebody will do only the sofas. Somebody will do only the dining tables. In India, we are missing the specialization. We are just doing everything, wardrobe, kitchen, this. Nobilia is the largest kitchen company. They do just the kitchen. They do not know any wardrobe. So without specialization, without increasing the capacity, and without cutting your cost. And third point, which is most important thing, that everyone has started building his own brand. All the people sitting here, they brand by themselves or not? Yes or no? You see, whenever you're talking about a person, every person is a brand. Why do we want to use some other's brand to promote our own brand? The moment you're introduced as a husband of someone, a wife of someone, what you are doing? That there is no entity of yours own. So first thing, that basically everyone has to start investing in their building own brand. Somebody should buy because that's Godrej, not because of A, B, or C. So why somebody should buy Homeland? For so and so reason. Why somebody should buy Livspace? For so and so reason. Not because they are using A, B, or C. They have to say their own values and what they signify. I believe enough investment has to go into their own brand building and defining the values, what you stand for. That's how you can bring the... And so
I
for
think
TPlusA is concerned, we are trying to reduce the cost of our trade partners so that they can deliver more and more value to the customer. So we offer quality at a lower prices.
No, and just wanted to add, I think the Goel sir's point, the industry on the, I call it the back end, basically the companies that is not counting for, like laminate, MDF, hardware, tiles, paint, they're insane. Those are the places we have seen scale coming to the point. So this is actually probably from what Goel is also saying, the price point and the making it at a right price and a right quality and a right brand is actually proven more than the consumer side brands I was talking about so far, the 4, 5, 6, maybe 10. But the whole point is being in a space which is really proven. All the large companies are from the back-end supply side in this industry. The largest company, we have 2 lakh crore market cap is Asian Paint. So net, I think it's a place where scalability is proven, and most of the categories in back-end could scale because it's a factory-led manufacturing, distribution-led, and a brand-led. Secondly, I think, see, the hardware especially, probably still the 20% organized has 4 or 5 players. So the density of really large-scaled players is needed to change the remaining 80%. And that's a very proven manufacturing-led, cost-led, efficiency-led, brand-led structure, which is, I think, already in place. So maybe the answer is in the risk on the investment and maybe the scalability of investment is more proven than the real consumer demand in the solution-led or a product-led business I just talked about.
So friends, to summarize, I think what both these gentlemen, knowledgeable people over here, one of the most experienced people in the industry, have hinted that capital is that oil that makes the entire space very slippery. Efficiencies will come in, competition will suddenly arrive without you realizing it and make all existing players trying to hang on to their positions. So efficiency needs to be built in very fast. Scaling up should not stop, and you should make your processes, your operations more predictable so that you stay ahead of the curve. Right, gentlemen? So with this, I hope you guys had a brief learning experience over here. And for any further questions that you may have from these gentlemen, I would suggest you catch them during the networking break which follows.